everyone. Welcome to our Conversations with Founders edition today with Cheryl and Simply Giving and Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Our absolute pleasure. It's great to spend some time with you just to talk to you rather than just go through the investment pitch. You know, it's always great to get to know the founders themselves.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Shinola and I'm the head of investments at pitchIN. With me is Cheryl from Simply Giving. Simply Giving is currently fundraising on pitchIN. They are live with, as of today, 34 days to go. Simply Giving is another crowdfunding platform, but crowdfunding for social causes. And they are aiming to raise 2 million ringgit. So maybe you'd like to do a quick intro on yourself, Cheryl?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl. I'm the CEO of Simply Giving. So as Shinola said, we are a crowdfunding platform, a very different one. So we fundraise to help social causes in Asia, raise more funds. So our mission really is to grow and to build the online fundraiser and donor community in Asia to give back to Asian causes. And this is where we see the gap. And I know there's a lot of Asians out there that wants to help Asian causes. It's like our kita jaga kita. You know, we have to look after our own and our own region. And I believe that there's a lot of people in Asia that can help to support whatever that's happening here.
Cool. I must say I like the idea of Simply Giving because it's like the same as Just Giving in the West, right?
Yeah. So we're like, we're equivalent to a Just Giving in the UK or GoFundMe in the US. So they address the Western markets, but they actually don't operate in Asia. So there is a gap in our market for this. And we're probably the only sort of pan-Asian platform. There's a lot of similar type of crowdfunding platform like us, but they're very localized. So they're either just for Malaysia, just for Singapore, or for Indonesia. But rarely do you see one that cuts across several countries in Asia.
So tell me, Cheryl, how did you join Simply Giving? How did it all start up for you? So maybe you can talk through your journey and how life brought you into being the CEO.
Yeah, okay.
It's always very interesting, a person's background and journey.
Yeah, it's actually quite a long journey coming to what I'm doing now. So I started off my career as a chartered accountant. So I'm trained in the UK. I know this is something that I share with you. So when Shinola and I first met, we've sort of being chartered accountants, we could understand each other.
I think it's because those exams kind of stick with
brutal.
You forever. They're brutal. Yeah. After the final exams, you think, I'm never doing that again.
yeah. But it's such a great base to have just for running any type of business. So that's where I started my career, being a chartered accountant. And then I also worked as a regional internal auditor for Novartis. So that's when I came back to Asia, to Singapore, actually. So that was a regional Asia Pacific role. And then after that, I worked in sort of business consultancy. I actually joined another startup in Hong Kong. This was like 20 years ago. So doing business consultancy and IT solutions for companies around Hong Kong. And then after that, I ran a wildlife film festival, which was a little bit more random. So I did that for 18 months. We started up the first wildlife film festival in Asia. Again, trying to promote the expertise and the sort of Asia being the hotspot for a lot of wildlife. So that was a really an interesting experience for me. And then I joined China-Britain Business Council, which was sort of a trade organization consultancy helping British companies do business in China. So I spent the first sort of 5 years of my time with them in London. And then I ended up in Beijing for 3 years. So that was actually my last gig before sort of coming back to Malaysia and going into Simply Giving. So after 3 years in China, in Beijing, you know, the pollution kind of gets to you a little bit. But at the end of that 3 years, I made a decision that I wanted to go into social investment, into like the social impact sort of sector. And then so that was one of the reasons for leaving and coming back. And then the other reason, which was a huge reason for me as well, was sort of personal changes that I was going through. And then I came back and I adopted my little girl. So nice. So life has been not the same since then.
I bet.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Things change when they come into our lives significantly.
Yeah. But it's the absolute best thing that I've done. She makes me very, very happy.
Awesome. Yeah. So when was it that you came back to Malaysia? Was it around 2011?
So it was mid 2015 actually. So that's when I joined Simply Giving. And so Simply Giving, so the original starter of Simply Giving is a British guy called James Greaves. So James and I have been friends for a long time. I've known him for over 15 years. Yeah. He's been in Malaysia like for more than 25 years. When he arrived, he started up a direct sales and marketing company called APCO. So they rebranded to Salesworks now. And their business, about 40% of their clients were actually the large NGOs. So they were the team, the brand, the business ambassadors that would go out to the streets to collect like sort of face-to-face donor acquisition for the large charities. Then so a huge part of their role was sort of helping charities fundraise. Then in 2002, he started up another company called SG Global with his sister. And that was about managing the sort of the back end, the monthly donation back end for these large charities. So now it's again grown into a very big company. They manage about 2 million donors a month for across Asia for some of the largest NGOs worldwide as well. And then so that was 2002, and then in 2010/11, that's where he saw the opportunity in online fundraising, and seeing that's where the trend of people going in terms of raising money and making donations, and that's why he started Simply Giving. So it was from a sort of a very long track record and experience in helping charities fundraise. So we're part of that group.
So Simply Giving started off in Singapore, if I'm not mistaken.
Singapore, Malaysia was probably incorporated just around the same time. But the decision made to start in Singapore first is because the regulatory environment for charities in Singapore is a lot stricter. So we wanted to make sure that it's done correctly, properly, and under strict guidance as well. Mm-hmm. So as a platform, we're actually we adhere to all the code of conduct, sort of best practices that's implemented by the Singapore Charities Commission, and in fact we are audited by them. So there are a number of things that they would look for in our processes and make sure that we cover. So namely, we need to ensure the legitimacy of the campaigns that we run. We need to ensure that we keep proper records of all the donations made, and then we need to ensure the transparency of all the campaigns that we're helping to facilitate as well.
So you're basically applying some strict rules, and then you're bringing it to Malaysia.
Exactly.
And
across all the countries that we're in. Yeah. So we make sure we follow the strictest.
Yes.
And then it's sort of self-compliant.
That's right.
Sort of self-regulating for all the other countries that we're in.
So going back to your past before you joined Simply Giving, you said you had another venture a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so I was actually, so this was 20 years ago, so I was relatively younger. And
Relative, it's all relative.
yeah, so I was the first employee, and then I did join the founding group as well. So I was the first employee by this, so we were called iBridge Capital then. And it was an IT solutions plus business consultancy company. So we were helping startups raise funds, and then we were providing solutions for like IT solutions for larger companies as well. So that was interesting. So it was my first time into a startup, and yeah, it was a sort of a sort of baptism of fire. It was a very interesting
It's very
experience.
different, isn't it? How
Yes,
did you find
yes.
the transition between being in a corporate with
Yeah,
very, very good
I
processes and everyone is doing their own thing to going
yeah.
into a startup?
So yeah, so you're right. So I went from working for Novartis, which is a huge pharmaceutical company,
Yeah.
to a very small startup. And what I would not I wouldn't change that for the world. I think that the experience working in a startup, working in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
has really taught me that you need to have grit, you need to have sort of staying power, you need to work really hard. So it kind of helped me shape sort of my work ethics as well.
Yeah.
And what I did realize very quickly as a startup is you tend to wear multiple hats. So you're doing a lot of different things at the same time, and you can't be precious about what you're doing. You have to really roll up your sleeves and just muck in, and whatever you do or don't do makes a difference. It will make a difference in the business. I'm sure
That's
you find the
Yeah,
same.
I found the same. I've had a few businesses in the startup space before I joined pitchIN, which is also a startup, and
Yeah,
you need all the hats. I think you
yeah,
can't just stay in one
no,
pocket.
yeah, yeah,
You've got to
yeah,
be able to move around the organization as it requires.
yeah,
And I think remaining flexible is very important.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and I think, and I know you probably see this as well, because you've been in a corporate, a big company. Um, you have the ability to see what is necessary to scale, I'm sure, which is probably where you are right now, right? So
yeah.
you can see where you are now, a startup, very lean team,
Yes.
and you know what you need to fill by way of the gap to get to that position where
To
you're in
get,
a bigger corporation.
yeah, yeah. uh, and we've so like you said, we are a very lean team at the moment. In fact, we started downsizing in January. So before all of this COVID, we were already looking at how do we ensure that we have a better runway, and making sure that we can operate ourselves
That's right.
sustainably
Yeah.
without sort of huge reliance on investors. So we did that right at the beginning of this year, and then the whole COVID thing happened. And what that's done is it's actually helped to sort of making the charities prioritize online fundraising as
Yeah.
their sort of almost go-to fundraising stream, because the traditional ways of fundraising, which was mostly either face-to-face or through events,
Yeah.
it's very restricted right now. So in fact, a lot of it can't be done. So these charities, before they think of online fundraising, is a nice to have, we'll think about it later, or yeah, it's great, interesting, but we've got other things to work on. But
Yeah.
right now, no, this is what they need to work on. So we're seeing our business actually, it grew by about 60%
Wow.
in the
Yeah.
first half of this year. So that put us in a really good footing. Revenues are up, costs are way down. So it puts us in a strong position. So even when we're going into this fundraising round with pitchIN, then it means whatever we raise here is truly about investing in our business for growth. because we're not saddled with the large overheads.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm actually really excited about all of this. Yeah.
Oh, good. So you can see that the what do you call it? Your timeline, right? So you can see, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to fundraise, and this is how I see it happening. That vision is, I'm sure, very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
So how does your day begin? You've got your little girl. What's a day like in Cheryl's world? I'd like to get an insight to that.
So my little one is 3.5. So she's in kindy. I've been sending her to kindy since she was 1.5. But so we start our day. Sort of, I send her to school. So I drop her off and then I come back. And actually, my office is very close to my home.
Yep.
So I drop her off, then I go into the office, and then I pick her up lunchtime again, and then I drop her off at home, and then I come back to the office. So in terms of work, it actually varies a lot what we do and what I do in Simply Giving, but a lot of it is about engaging with our charity partners, a bit like you, sort of, talking to your companies, making sure that they are familiar with the tools that we provide, and we brainstorm with them about how to maximize their fundraising efforts on Simply Giving. And then there's also a lot of engagement with fundraisers. So these are people, ordinary people that are doing fantastic things to fundraise for causes that they are passionate about. So that's always very inspiring for us, and we love, sort of working with people like this, and then again helping them to shape their campaigns and to make sure that they get the most out of using our platform.
Would you say you spend a lot of time getting to know the charities that you're working with?
Yeah, we do, and that's the most enjoyable part of our jobs.
I bet.
Talking to charities, talking to fundraisers, finding out about what they're doing, why they're doing it, what's the purpose behind all of it. It's and everything, everyone's fundraising for different things. So it can be from helping refugees or helping underprivileged. Actually, we just had one last week, which I really love. So there was this this girl who's just finished her Form 5, and so she's from a very poor family. But she managed to get a scholarship to pay for her university fees from one of the Chinese newspaper foundations. But so they paid for the fees, but they don't cover a lot of things like her living expenses, enrollment fees and whatnot. So all of that would add up to another 20,000 ringgit for sort of the 4 or 30,000 ringgit to keep her going for the 4 years. And so she thought she didn't have a chance, quite disappointing that she still had to come out with a lot of money. But she's part of this program called Closing the Gap, which has a mentor assigned to her. And her mentor said, let's just try and fundraise this amount for you. So she set up a page last week. And within 24 hours, they already raised 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
24 hours.
And there was just not really fantastic people donating. And even some that were donating small amounts, like even 20, 30 ringgit, but saying, we've been in your shoes before. And that's why we're contributing now. We want to help someone else. And
that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So now they've actually raised beyond the target that they needed. So whatever extra that they raise, it will be transferred to that Closing the Gap program, so that other similar students will benefit from it as well.
What was she going to study? Just out of curiosity.
Actually, I can't remember. I think it was business.
Nice.
I'll need to check. I'll need to check the page.
I'll go and check it. I think I'll go on your site after this and check it. Yeah. So, would you say that's the most gratifying thing, seeing how these donations impact other people's lives?
Yes. Yeah. And some are really fun. Some campaigns are has an element of like a challenge to it. So early this year, oh not this year, early this month in fact, we had these kids from Hong Kong, and so they were between 8 to 10 years old, and they wanted to help one of their teachers whose son has like a bone marrow disease. So they wanted to help her with some of the medical costs of her son's treatment. And so these 18 kids, ages between 8 to 10, they decided to do this open water swim, like a swim in the ocean. And it was like, they had to swim around one of these islands, and it would I think the distance was about 3 kilometers.
Wow.
So it's actually quite a big challenge for adults as well, right? So they had to train for weeks for it. And then each of them had their own mini fundraising page for their teacher's son, Alfie. And in the end, collectively, they've raised about 450,000 Hong Kong dollars. So that's 250,000 ringgit. Which was, it blew my mind.
Amazing. That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So this COVID-19, have you seen a lot of campaigns specifically for COVID?
Yes. So actually the very first campaign, or one of the earliest campaigns that we helped in this to do with COVID was actually working with Vivi Yusof and her team at Fashion Ballet.
Yeah.
So they started a campaign the night before our MCO kicked in. So it was, I think our MCO was 18th of March. The campaign page started on the 17th of March.
Yeah.
And but it was amazing because within 1 week, she managed to raise 1 million ringgit just on our side, and she was fantastic in kind of rallying her followers and sort of pleading with them, pushing them, celebrating the milestones that they've reached, and then all to help with the frontliners, making sure that they're getting the essentials, the PPEs, and then there's even food, getting food delivered to them. But all done through Emerit, which is the NGO that was helping to provide all of this assistance. So
that was a very high-profile campaign. I remember even I got alerts for it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I thought, oh, this is very early on. You're right.
Yes,
right at the beginning where we had no idea we were going to be locked up for so long.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It was only like a 2-week thing.
Yeah. So that was one of the first ones we did, and then after that we had a lot more, many other different ones, but obviously smaller in size. Yeah. But what I really liked was a lot of them were about communities that we probably wouldn't know about or think about. But it was helping like a fishing village in Sabah. It was helping the Orang Asli rangers that were sort of protecting our tigers. So it's like these communities. So what I really love is it's almost like nobody gets left behind. Someone will take care of, like I said, kita jaga kita.
Yes.
So someone will take care of the communities that they know. So it was it was lovely to see like the different types. It doesn't matter if it's big or small campaigns, but it's like who you help and how you get the support to them was just fantastic.
So what is a cause that is probably the nearest and dearest to your heart? There's always one, right?
Yeah, I actually like. I mean, all of them are great, in its own way. Probably the one that we do support, like on a personal basis. So is Yayasan Chowkit. So they started off like as a drop-in center for at-risk youth and at-risk kids in the Chowkit area. So the founder of Yayasan Chowkit, it is a good friend of mine, Dr. Tini. So every year for Naya's birthday, we would fundraise for them. So my poor child, doesn't get any presents.
And no presents for Naya. Poor thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I will go to Toys R Us and buy her something. Okay.
She
When I
gets
see her.
more, but she gets, I love like pre-love presents. So I
Yeah.
love the hand-me-downs. You get to recycle, plus toys you play, and then you discard or you have to give them away. So I don't mind that, and a lot of friends give her so many things. So
Yeah.
which is why for her birthday we always make it a point to. I don't know how long I can get away with that.
You
This
say
year
that, right?
she starts to
You say
understand.
that. So I have two boys, right? So my younger one, bless him, always has hand-me-downs, always.
Right. Yeah.
So I think at one point the hand-me-down was a bit too tattered for him to wear. I think it was a pajamas or something. I actually went and bought new pajamas for him. Oh, the joy in his face! It wasn't a hand-me-down. So just you
So
wait. You'll
sweet.
get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, no, I think I don't even know if I can get away with it this year. She's going to be 4 in October, so I might try this year and see what she says.
And then that's it. You started a
Yeah.
trend and you've got to follow it, and you think, oh no, I got to go
Yeah,
back to the
yeah.
pre-love part of life. Okay, so that's all the gratifying thing. There must be, as an entrepreneur, challenges. What's your
Mm.
biggest challenge, you would say, or what are the types of challenges that you face with Simply Giving?
Well, I think it's the same sort of challenge for any startup. It's how do you make payroll?
Oh
So
gosh, yes.
so that's always one of the biggest things. But then like I said, since the beginning of this year, we've kind of restructured ourselves, and then so far business has been, touch wood, pretty good. So we are in a fortunate position right now.
Yeah.
But it's still very it's still it's still a very volatile situation. It's still a very volatile sort of time for all of us. So we just need to keep maintaining the make sure we can keep maintaining the momentum.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think being an entrepreneur, challenges are inevitable. And it actually just is I would say, the spice of the journey is
I
the way
think
to be.
it's it's very easy to kind of freak out and stress about everything, right?
Oh,
I think you
totally.
just
Yeah.
have to kind of keep calm and
Yeah.
work on things one at a time, and make sure you just
Yeah.
work through the problems. Yeah.
For sure. And I think I heard this saying once, the only constant is change. So being
Yes.
flexible is something that our training doesn't allow us to do that, though, Cheryl. Being flexible is not something a chartered accountant is trained to do, especially if you're an auditor as well, right? But I think it just kind of brings
but
out.
it's good. But it's good. The training is good because it grounds you, so you still make decisions based on sort of proper facts and figures.
Correct. Yes.
But you just have to make decisions faster. And like you said, be a bit more flexible. So it's still very informed way of sort of moving through your decision making.
That's right.
Yeah.
So is there anyone out there that you look up to by way of business CEOs or mentors that
Right.
guide you on a overall basis, maybe on a day-to-day
I
basis?
don't know. I used to read a lot, so I love reading like management books. By I read a lot of Warren Buffett. What's that GE guy? Welsh. Something Welsh.
What was the last book you read?
And that's the thing, I haven't been reading for so long.
4 years maybe, I think.
I know. But I think what inspired me about like the CEOs that I do admire is it's sort of their integrity and their humility.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to be honest but humble, and so I like that. I like that style of management.
Just being grounded, I think.
Yeah.
Is quite. So no one in particular stands out for you that you can think of?
No, but you please feel free to share yours with me.
Mine, I don't have a particular one that I would look up to. I just look at different qualities from different ones. But the last book I read, maybe a bit cliche, being a woman, is Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
started that. But
it's awesome.
I need to, I think I
Yeah.
read one chapter.
Yeah, that's how I started. And then you get sidetracked with kids and
Yeah, yeah,
things. So, but that was
yeah,
one book I read because it kept coming back. A lot of people kept telling me
yeah,
about it. And as cliche as it sounds, she's a very powerful woman,
yeah,
and not the woman who led the country, but the woman behind.
yeah, yeah,
And even with that, I think there's a lot of lessons you can learn, even if you're
yeah,
not the person in front,
yeah,
being the person that supports. So for me, what my takeaway was building the right team,
yeah.
because there's not, you can't do anything without having the right team,
People around you, yeah, yeah.
frankly. So,
Absolutely.
and you might have the vision and things like that, but you need to cultivate the right team. So
Yeah,
she was such a
yeah,
strong woman. So that was my
yeah.
last one, actually. I haven't read after that, which is a couple
Okay,
of
no,
months
it's not
now.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, she's not a CEO, but she was pretty much the most powerful woman at one
yeah,
point.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
what's your aspiration or your vision for Simply Giving?
So yeah, so my aspiration, our aspiration needs to build Simply Giving into the Asia crowdfunding platform for social good. So we want to be the go-to platform for this. And as I said earlier, our mission is to build and grow our community, our online sort of fundraiser and donor community in Asia to give back to Asian causes.
Okay. Okay, let's play a little game now, Cheryl, shall we?
Really?
Okay, let's play a little game.
Uh-oh.
So, co-working space or your own office?
I'm co-working is great for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? You like people around? I think is that the main thing?
Um, Actually, I don't mind. I just want to. So what I don't want to. I prefer to kind of be sort of mucking in with my staff, with wherever they are sitting, I should be sitting as well. So I don't need to have my own sort of closed door
Office.
office or yeah.
I think it was more about co-working spaces, like
Mm.
common ground versus your own personal office.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, So I don't think we've worked in a co-working space before, but I imagine it'd be quite fun because you're meeting other entrepreneurs as well, all in the same boat. You share a lot of ideas, plus the networking. I think the networking is actually quite important. So that that could be a big plus for co-working.
Yeah.
Plus Friday, whatever after work drinks.
Of course, of course. I think for me, it depends on what I need to get. I know it's a very cop-out answer, but days where I just need to focus and get work done, I just like to be in my own space.
Right.
But days where you have meetings and you have that extroverted day, I think I would call it co-working spaces would work better.
But these days now it's actually the norm to you can work from home, you can work remotely, so you can decide for yourself whether okay, today I want to go in because whatever, and then today I need headspace to think.
That's right.
I prefer not. Yeah.
Okay, so iOS or Android?
Oh, I'm iOS, I think.
Yeah, same. My phone is iOS, but I can't for the life of me use a Mac as a laptop because I
Me
use
too.
Excel. I live on Excel, right? So
yeah.
I just can't work out the functions. So I'm a bit hybridish in that sense.
Yeah. Okay, same.
Same. Oh, high five. Okay, Zoom or Google Meet?
Oh, I think Zoom, because the quality is better. My Google Meet sometimes, I don't know, we get drop off quite frequently.
I would choose Zoom because I think I've used it more.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it's more, the user experience is a lot more intuitive.
It's better, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better, but that's me. A lot of people prefer Google Meets.
Okay. Why though? Is it?
I think, you know, it comes
free.
down to how often you use it.
Right.
It's like how used you, and we just use Zoom a lot.
Yeah.
So it just works, and I got used to the functionalities and all that.
Yeah. I use Zoom for all our remote meetings.
It's just, I think it's just familiarity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, coffee, Starbucks or any other coffee joint?
My morning coffee is coffee from home. I like the soy latte in Starbucks, so that's probably the only time that I'll go in there.
Okay, what would I do?
I like local coffee.
Don't you find it too sweet? Isn't local coffee very sweet?
Kurang manis it.
Oh, kurang manis is still manis, right? I don't take sugar. So I make my own coffee from home like you, but I think I would choose, again, Starbucks for the familiarity. So really? Cliche, right? Oh my God, I need to.
I always see you in Coffee Bean.
You see me at Coffee Bean because it's probably the closest one here.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I can walk there. That's fine. As long as I can walk somewhere, I like walking. So that's Coffee Bean. But if there's a Coffee Bean and Starbucks next to each other, I think I would choose Starbucks.
Right.
Okay, the last one. Right. Telegram or WhatsApp?
I've never used Telegram, so WhatsApp.
Same. I mean, I've got both, but I think Malaysians use WhatsApp more.
Right.
So I have a few friends on Telegram, but I don't check it. So they'll try and message me there and say, why haven't you checked it? And they'll message me on WhatsApp to say, can you check your Telegram? So it's just WhatsApp now. So I'm a WhatsApp person, definitely.
But when I was living in China, we use WeChat a lot. And I thought that was pretty great. WeChat was actually a really nice tool, messaging tool to use.
But it's never taken off here, right? WeChat?
No, we don't.
We don't really use it. I think WhatsApp kind of got the early traction.
Yeah.
And just grew from
that.
But
you can do more with WeChat. I think the interface looks nicer.
Oh, does it? I've never used it before. Never.
It's like a cross between. Or it feels like a cross between sort of Facebook and WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must go and have a look. Again, I'm a creature of, what's the word? I'm just habit. Get out of my habit, I think. Starbucks, no more Starbucks for me. Go and get a MacBook and try Google Meets. Anyway, would you like to say a few more words about your campaign and your vision, Cheryl, before we close off this session?
Well, first I want to thank, sort of Team pitchIN for everything you guys are doing in terms of helping us. It's been a really lovely experience working with all of you. Like, you're so passionate and so helpful with all our campaigns, and I can see you apply the same sort of passion to the other companies as well. So firstly, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. It's our pleasure, especially for, hosting another crowdfunding platform on our platform is an honor.
Yeah, and
thank you for choosing us.
No, it's been a good journey. I hope that we will successfully raise our round, and we want to really appeal to investors out there that are also looking to sort of make a social impact or an impact with their investments. So we are a for-profit company, but we also have a very strong purpose behind what we do and our business mission. And so we do well by doing good, and I hope that the investors that join us in this journey will also see that with their investment, it's not just like a return. Your return on investment will also include a return on your social investment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we look forward to having these investors on board.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I've had a
Thanks,
really good
Chenola.
chat with you. And Simply Giving is live on our platform, guys. Take a look at their page. Pledge, invest now. They've got about 34 days to go on their campaign and are aiming to raise 2 million ringgit. So
Yes.
thank you again from us at pitchIN today, and see you soon.
All right. Bye.